The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was quiet, too quiet. Thousands of alien leaders sat in their chairs watching the center of the chamber. Lights from 100 stars glowed through the tall windows. The room was always peaceful during big decisions, but today, the peace felt cold. A human ambassador stood in the center, a woman named Amara Sloan. She wore Earth's blue and silver uniform. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. "All we ask," Amara said, her voice strong, "is to be treated as equals." Murmurs filled the air. Some aliens hissed, others turned away. A large alien with golden skin stood up. He was High Chancellor Tel V of the Thar Empire. His voice was deep and cruel. "Humans are dangerous," he said. "They expand too fast, fight too often. They cannot be trusted." Another alien, this one with long black tendrils, added. "They act without permission. They built weapons in council-protected zones. They even mined on sacred planets." Amara stepped forward. "We acted to survive. Earth was dying. We followed your rules, but when we asked for help, the council gave us silence." There was a pause, then Tel raised his hand. "The vote is now." A tall screen lit up. Names of alien species appeared one by one. Green meant keep Earth in the council. Red meant ban them one after another. The votes turned red. Omar's hands tightened behind her back. Red, red, red. Only 2 species voted green. The rest chose to ban Earth forever. The screen flashed a final message. "Earth is banned from the Galactic Council." Effective immediately. Guards stepped forward, ready to remove the human ambassador. Amara didn't resist. She looked at the council members. Her voice was calm, but full of meaning. "You will regret this." Then she turned and walked away back on Earth. The news came fast. Council bans, Earth calls humans a threat. All trade and travel cut off. Human colonies ordered to shut down. People panicked, some cried, some got angry. The President of Earth made a public speech. "This is not the end." He said, "They fear us because we are strong, because we are fast learners, but let them close their doors. We will open our own." Something changed that day. Humans stopped looking to the stars for approval. Now they looked at the stars like a challenge. Earth's governments united under one flag. Scientists worked day and night. Soldiers trained harder. Children in schools were taught about the council, not with respect, but with warning. "They feared us," teachers said, "because they knew we could outgrow them," and so Earth disappeared from the galactic map, but only on the surface in the dark corners of space. Strange things began to happen. A human cargo ship vanished from a trade route, but there was no distress signal. Pirates who went to loot it never returned. An alien listening station near a gas giant heard strange human signals, but when they tried to trace them, their computers melted. A scout ship entered a system that once held a human colony. The colony was gone, but something had been built there. Something big, something silent. The ship turned to leave. But it never made it out. Back in the council hall, months later, Tel VX stood again. Reports had come in, small ones, unclear ships missing, systems going silent, but no proof. Earth is no longer a concern. He said, "They are alone, weak. They cannot harm us." But a council spy, one who had been watching Earth secretly, sent a final message before he vanished. "You made a mistake. Earth is not weak. They are preparing and they will come back." The vanishing fleets, it started with silence out on the edge of the galaxy. A small alien freighter waited for a human cargo ship. They were supposed to trade supplies, nothing special, but the human ship never arrived. The freighter waited 1 day, then 2. No message, no signal, just silence. At first, no one cared. Ships were late all the time, but then another human ship disappeared. Then 3, then 10 across different sectors, human vessels, transport, mining, patrol simply vanished. No distress calls, no debris. It was like they had been erased from space. Alien, traitors, whispered in spaceports. Have you seen a Tarn ship lately? Someone would ask. No others would answer, not in weeks. The council started to notice. Reports came in from various sectors, human outposts, empty communication lines, dead patrols were sent to investigate. One patrol from the VR Max Republic entered a human trade system. The planet below used to be busy, filled with factories and stations. Now it was dark, cold, deserted. The captain of the patrol ship frowned. Where did the humans go? She asked. They scanned the area, nothing. Then one of the crew members found something, a small data pod floating near the edge of the system. It had no power, no signal, but once they pulled it aboard and forced it open, it began to play a short, silent video. It showed a shadow, a ship massive, bigger than any human ship ever recorded. It had no lights, no flags. Just black steel and strange shapes moving across. It surfaced like it was alive. Then the video cut to static. The captain gave the order to leave at once, but they were already being watched on the edge of the system. Something moved. The VR Max ship never returned back at the council. Confusion turned to worry. They had thought humans were retreating, hiding in shame after being banned. But now, it seemed they had vanished for another reason. Some believed the humans had gone extinct, others weren't so sure. On a small moon near Council space, a group of pirates picked up an unusual signal. It came from deep space, far from any star, curious and greedy. The pirates followed it. They expected treasure, maybe stolen human tech. Instead, they found a station, human-made, but unlike anything they had ever seen. It was huge. Covered in armor and strange weapons, energy pulsed through it, slow and quiet like a heartbeat. The pirates approached hoping to sneak in and steal something. Only one of their ships made it back. The pilot inside was shaking. His face was pale. He kept repeating the same words over and over. They're not hiding. They're building. No one believed him until his ship exploded. The next day, right outside the station, the council began to panic behind closed doors. High Chancellor Telvi dismissed the rumors again, the humans are gone. These are just tricks, ghost stories, but other leaders weren't so sure. A spy working deep inside human territory sent a final message to the council. It was short, broken by static. But the meaning was clear. They are not weak. They are preparing. They have fleets we've never seen before. Weapons we don't understand. I saw one. It moved without engines. It looked at me like it knew. Then silence. That spy was never heard from again. Weeks passed. Alien patrols stopped going near old human zones. Some smaller planets tried to reach out to humans, sending secret messages, offering peace or deals. None got replies. But every now and then someone would see something strange, a large ship. Moving faster than it should. No lights, no markings, just a shape in the stars watching back on Earth. No signals were sent, no messages, no broadcasts. They were done talking and soon the galaxy would understand. The humans were not rebuilding. They were rising, and no one knew what they would do next. To the rise of the Iron Empire. For months, the galaxy waited for news. The council believed Earth had gone dark. Deep in uncharted space. Something else was happening across empty star systems. Machines worked without rest. They built on asteroids, inside moons, even inside hollowed-out planets. Human engineers hidden from all scanners worked on something massive. No news came from Earth, but deep space drones moved silently gathering metal, gas, and lost technology. Every trace of these missions was erased before any sensor could find it. Then one day a strange event occurred. A small desert world near Council borders suddenly went dark. It had no real value. Just a few farms and mining stations. When a local patrol arrived to check, the entire planet had changed. Factories now stood where there were once rocks, defensive towers lined the hills, satellites swarmed the skies. It was like a fortress had grown overnight. The patrol ship sent one message back. "There's a flag on the station. Human, but different," and then they were gone. The council held an emergency meeting. Panic was growing. Reports from distant systems were all the same. Human ships were seen larger than before, shaped for war, not trade. Their movements were too fast. Their weapons too quiet. No signals, no broadcasts. Just silence. Before the storm, it was clear Earth hadn't fallen. They had evolved. One alien smuggler known for flying deep into restricted zones, managed to escape from a human claim sector. His story spread quickly through black markets and back channels. He said he saw something that shouldn't exist. A fleet of human ships. 100 strong, moving as one. No spoken orders, no chatter. Every move. Perfect. Like they were one mind. He called them the Iron Fleet. At the center of that fleet, he claimed, was something terrifying. A command ship the size of a city, shaped like a blade, blacker than space. It didn't glow. It didn't shine. It swallowed light. On its side was written one word, Empire. Word spread. Quiet at first, then louder. People started calling it the Iron Empire. Some said Earth no longer existed as a single planet, that it had spread across new systems, that it was now something bigger, a force, a shadow, empire without borders. Others claimed Earth had built its own council, chosen by action, not politics, and at its head, they whispered, sat the same ambassador who once stood in the Galactic Council's chamber, Amara Sloan. But now she was no diplomat. She was the Empress. Across weak and forgotten alien worlds, human emissaries began to appear. They wore dark armor and carried simple messages. Join us or move aside. Some rulers laughed. Others tried to resist. None succeeded. Within weeks, the first alien world joined the Iron Empire. Its leaders stepped down peacefully. Its people were left unharmed. In return, they were given clean water, energy, and protection. Other worlds watched. Some followed. Some tried to fight. The ones who fought no longer exist. On one council world, a transmission was received during a quiet night. The voice was calm, human, and clear. We are not here to ask. We are here to build something greater. You may stand with us or you may fall in our path. No threats, just facts. And behind that voice, a shadow moved through the stars. The council called it rebellion. It wasn't a rebellion, it was order, the kind born not from peace, but from exile. Humanity had been pushed out of the old galaxy. Now they were shaping a new one. The council strikes first, they couldn't wait any longer. Inside the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, fear had replaced. Pride map showed human fleets moving through old routes, passing into systems once considered neutral. Some of those systems had fallen quiet. Others now flew unknown flags, black, silver, and red, the flag of Earth's empire. Some council members demanded peace talks, but most remembered the day Earth was banned. They remembered the look in the human ambassador's eyes. The council believed they had waited too long and now they had to act. A plan was created in secret. Fast and brutal. Dozens of alien empires sent their best ships, stealth cruisers, strike teams, mercenaries. Their goal was simple. Attack the heart of the Iron Empire before it could grow stronger. But there was one problem. No one knew where the heart was. Human colonies were now hidden. Trade routes were cloaked and Earth itself had vanished from all recent scans. It was as if they had erased their own home. Still, the Council believed they had found something, an old mining world, once used by humans. It had gone silent months. AO then came back online just days earlier, too perfect to be a mistake. They assumed it was a base, maybe even the center of command. Fleet Omega was sent over 200 ships. Armed with the best weapons the galaxy could offer, the aliens aboard believed it would be a quick strike. The moment they dropped out of hyperspace, they knew something was wrong. There were no cities, no ships, no towers, just quiet mountains and empty air. And then the stars around them began to move. What looked like pieces of space suddenly came alive. Hidden ships cloaked in black. They had been waiting. The trap had been set long before the Council ever made its decision, one by one. The alien ships were destroyed, not with noise and chaos, but with silence. The Iron Fleet didn't speak, it didn't warn. It simply ended the attack. One alien pilot managed to send a message before his ship was pulled into darkness. They knew we were coming. They let us arrive. This wasn't a strike. This was a test. Only 4 ships escaped. All carried the same memory. A ship at the center of the human fleet, large and still. It's hallmarked with a single glowing line, Amara's blade symbol. The Council went into crisis publicly. They claimed the mission had been a misunderstanding. Privately they realized something worse. Humanity was always one step ahead. That meant only one thing. Someone in the Council had betrayed them. Someone had warned the humans, and that someone had chosen Earth's side. While the Council searched for spies, something else began to happen. Systems that once feared Earth now welcomed its presence. Struggling colonies, near war zones, started asking for protection, not from the Council, but from the Iron Empire, and the Empire answered. Ships arrived, supplies were dropped, pirates vanished. No speeches, no banners, just help. Fast, quiet, and effective people across the galaxy began to whisper. Maybe humans weren't monsters. Maybe they were the future back on Earth, wherever it truly was. Now, Amara stood on a command deck watching stars pass by her window. Her officer approached. Council forces destroyed. She nodded. Once they attacked first, now they'll expect war. What shall we do? She looked into space, then said quietly. We don't start wars, but if they come again. Her voice was colder. Now. Then we show them what exile taught us. In the silence of deep space, ships moved like ghosts and far from the Council's reach. The Iron Empire grew stronger, but something darker was rising too. And even the humans didn't fully understand what they had awakened. The traitors' signal. The Council was breaking apart. After the failed ambush, everything changed. Trust faded. Accusations filled the chambers. No one said it aloud, but they all feared the same thing. Someone inside had warned the humans, but no one could find the leak. Security teams swept through communication logs. Dozens of officials were questioned. Old messages were pulled from deep archives, but still no answers until a low-level technician noticed something strange. A signal weak. Hidden inside a routine Council broadcast sent to the outer colonies. At first glance, it looked harmless. Just maintenance data, but buried inside it. Hidden between frequencies was a pattern, not random. Not natural, a message. They ran it through translation programs. Each one failed until one human-made program forgotten in the system from years ago. Recognized the structure. The hidden signal was human, and it was recent. The technician brought it to the head of security. Within hours, the council was in chaos. Again, the traitor was real and worse. They had used the council's own system to send the message, but what was the message? No one could fully decode it. Only pieces came through. Phase, complete. Second wave, prepare, access, directive, return of origin. It made no sense, but one word stood out. Origin. Some thought it meant Earth. Others believed it meant something else. A hidden station, long rumored, but never proven, was suddenly placed under emergency scan. It sat at the edge of a collapsed star system where no ship dared travel. Too unstable, too dangerous. But when scouts approached, they didn't find danger. They found a structure. It floated among debris, half buried in the remains of a shattered moon. Human in design. Old, but active inside machines. Were still running. A recording played the moment the scouts entered. A voice, female, calm. If you're hearing this, then the council still believes it is in control. You sent us away, called us unstable, but exile gave us clarity. You taught us silence. Now we've turned silence into power. One scout tried to shut down the system. He failed the stations. AI had no off switch. The message continued. You built an empire of rules. We built one of results, and soon when all systems hear our call, they'll choose. The recording ended with a symbol, a circle of stars surrounding a single blade. Then the station self-destructed. Nothing remained. The council called for lockdowns across its systems. All communication was tightened. All suspicious officers were watched still. Ships kept vanishing. More colonies chose to join Earth's empire, even in secret, in dark corners of the galaxy. The Iron Empire's voice grew louder, not through war, but through whispers, through promises, through order, and always through action. Back in the Iron Empire, Amara stood before a massive holographic map. Dots glowed where new systems had pledged support. Another world has joined. Her advisor said, no shots fired. She didn't smile. Fear controls, we offer something better. Her officer asked, and the traitor in the council, she looked away. Let them send more spies, let them listen. They already know we're coming, they just don't know when. But deep inside her flagship, beneath the command deck and engine halls, room remained sealed. Inside that room, a signal pulsed, a private code one, only 2 people in the galaxy could read, and somewhere within the council, the second person smiled as they read it. The Empire had more than ships and weapons. It had a ghost inside the council itself. Shadows within the throne. Counselor Var always sat near the center of the chamber. Quiet, respected, and rarely questioned. For years, he had voted with caution, spoken with calm, and played the part of a loyal servant of the council. But Varn was not loyal. He had once been to Earth long ago, before the ban. He had walked their cities, met their thinkers, touched their soil, and when the council cast Earth out, something in him cracked. He saw fear win over reason. Now he watched as the other counselors panicked. They blamed each other. They tightened controls. They screamed for more fleets, more walls, but none of it would matter because Varn was the voice behind the signal. He hadn't just warned the humans, he had helped shape their return late at night. Inside his chamber, he activated a small crystal. It shimmered with soft blue light, and a face appeared. Amara. No words were needed. Only a nod. She knew it was time. Back on the Iron Fleet's main command ship, signals began to pulse, coordinates lit up across their star charts. Gates were unlocked. Shields opened from inside Council systems thanks to VAR. The Empire was moving, not with a giant army, but with precision. Targets were small supply hubs, data vaults, fleet repair yards, but each one was chosen carefully. Each one mattered more than a battlefield. When Council guards arrived, they found only silence. The facilities were already taken or empty. Sometimes a message was left behind, one line: order does not beg. It builds. Citizens of the Council began to question things. Why were human ships feeding starving colonies before the Council? Why were pirates disappearing from zones where Earth was said to be active? And most importantly, why did the Empire ask for no tribute? No rule, no flag change. They only asked for one thing: stability. One Council world worn down by war and poor leadership made a public request. They asked to join the Iron Empire. It shocked the galaxy. The Council tried to stop the broadcast, but it spread too fast. Other struggling systems took notice. Some began to send secret messages to Amara's fleet. One after another. The walls around the Council cracked, not with force, but with doubt. Inside the Council chamber, the pressure grew. Councillor VAR gave a speech, short, careful. We ruled by fear of chaos. But what if order could come from unity, not control? Some listened. Others called him a traitor, but no one could deny the truth. The people were no longer afraid of Earth. They were listening to it, and in a hidden chamber below the Council's main tower, a device long sealed, began to hum. It had not been touched since Earth was banned. A final protocol locked behind layers of command, but now it was active again. Councillor VA stood before it alone. He placed his hand on the scanner. The device opened. Inside, there was only one thing. A black starship, human made, ancient, dangerous. He took it elsewhere. Amara looked out the viewport of her command ship in the distance. A Council world flickered like a jewel in the void. We don't conquer, she whispered. We replace her, second in command. Stepped forward. Council war fleets are gathering. Should we strike first? No, she said, eyes still on the stars. Let them come. Let them feel brave. She turned to the crew. Then we remind them who taught humanity silence and what we learned from it. As the lights dimmed and the Iron Fleet jumped into position, the galaxy held its breath. The final confrontation was coming, but not the way anyone expected. The Empire of Silence. The Council had one chance left. Every warship was pulled back to the home systems. Borders were sealed. Communications jammed. The Council believed that strength, true strength, could still control the galaxy, but control was slipping and Earth had not even fired its full power yet. In the skies above Arx, Prime, the capital of the Council, hundreds of ships waited. Shields charged. Cannons aimed. General spoke loudly in command rooms, and then one signal came, just one. A small black drone entered orbit. Slow and alone. It broadcast a single message across all Council channels. A voice, calm, measured, human. You forced silence upon us. Now we speak without words. Within minutes, half the Council systems shut down. Power grids failed. Military channels collapsed. Supply routes vanished, and it all happened without a shot. Councillor Varn, now gone from the chambers, had left behind a gift: access to the Council's oldest systems. Ones built with Earth's help centuries ago, ones they had forgotten, but the humans had not, as panic spread. Amara arrived, not in a fleet, not in a ship. She walked alone. A transport dropped her near the council tower. The guards didn't stop her. Most had already run. The people watched from windows, from rooftops, from screens. One woman, one exile, she entered the tower. The last remaining counselors waited for her, trembling behind their shields. "We still have fleets." One of them shouted. She said, "Nothing. We still control over 100 systems." She looked at them. "You never controlled anything." She replied, "You only held it still." They asked what she wanted. Revenge, power. A seat at the table. She answered with a single word: change. Then she left by sunset. The council surrendered not because of defeat, but because they had no reason to exist anymore. World by world. People turned to the Iron Empire, not with fear, but with hope. Amara never took the throne. She never wore a crown. She returned to the stars. Earth. It remained hidden, a myth, a memory, a seed planted in every new world that joined the empire. Children on distant moons were told the story that once the council tried to silence Earth, and Earth answered with silence. So deep, so complete that when it spoke again, the galaxy listened.